I start this gameplay by entering the Cardania ecosystem, which is a collection of games built on the Cardano blockchain. In this video, I am focusing specifically on Epoch Wars, a multiplayer game where actions are organized by epochs. Each epoch lasts 5 days, and during that time, terraforms can take part in attacks and generate rewards. Everything shown on screen is handled directly in the browser. There are no downloads or installations involved. Access is done by connecting a compatible Web3 wallet, which in this case is already delegated to the Suamen pool. Once the wallet is connected, the system reads the assets directly from the blockchain, including terraforms, citizens, and starships, which are required to interact with the game. The goal of this gameplay is to show how Epoch Wars works step by step, starting from the initial access and moving through the core mechanics such as managing terraforms, assigning citizens and starships, carrying out attacks between factions, and finishing with the harvesting process. I am not adding assumptions or skipping steps. Everything I do is visible on screen. Throughout the video, I explain what I am doing in real time, which options I select, and how the system responds. This is meant to be a clear walkthrough of the gameplay flow, especially for anyone seeing Epoch Wars for the first time. With that context set, I begin from the nexus, making sure the wallet is connected correctly and that the required assets are available. From here, the gameplay follows the natural order of the system, showing how a full epoch is played from start to finish. I start by opening my browser and going directly to the Nexus website where Epoch Wars is played. I make sure I am logged in by connecting my Web3 wallet, which is already delegated to the Suamen pool. Once the wallet is connected, the site recognizes my assets automatically. I can see that my wallet contains a terraform which is required to participate in Epoch Wars. Along with the terraform, I also need at least one attack asset, such as a starship, a citizen, or an Enter the Ultraverse creature card. If these assets are present in my wallet, I am eligible to start playing. At this point, I am not selecting attacks, yet I am just confirming that everything needed to play is ready. The terraform is important because it represents my land on the map, and each terraform can be used to attack once per epoch. An epoch lasts 5 days, and during that time, each terraform has a single opportunity to perform an attack. When an epoch ends, all terraforms are reshuffled on the map automatically and attack availability resets. This means positioning changes every epoch, and I cannot rely on the same neighbors each time. I also understand that my wallet connection is more than just a login. It allows the game to read the terraforms and other NFTs directly from the blockchain. The assets stay in my wallet and the Nexus acts as the interface to interact with them. There is nothing to download or install. Everything is handled through the browser. As long as my wallet is connected and delegated correctly, I can access Epoch Wars features. At the end of this step, I have confirmed that I meet the requirements to play, my wallet is connected, my terraform is available, and I have an eligible attack asset. With this setup complete, I am ready to move deeper into the Epoch Wars interface and start interacting with the map. Once I'm inside the Nexus, I navigate to the Epoch Wars section. This is where the main gameplay map is displayed. As soon as I enter this area, I can see all the terraforms that exist for the current epoch. The map is divided into different sections, and each section contains terraforms that belong to different factions. This view gives me a full overview of how the world is laid out right now. On the map, each terraform is represented visually. I can tell which ones belong to my faction and which ones belong to other factions. I am not interacting with anything yet, I am simply observing. This step is about understanding positioning. Because terraforms are shuffled at the start of every epoch, that means neighbors change and attack opportunities change with them. As I move around the map, I can zoom in and out to inspect different areas. This helps me see how close my terraforms are to others and which neighboring terraforms might become potential attack targets later. I also pay attention to faction distribution because I cannot attack terraforms from my own faction. This makes map awareness important before taking any action. From this view, I can also start identifying areas with higher activity based on how many terraforms are clustered together. Even though I am not launching attacks yet, this screen helps me understand the current state of the epoch. It shows me where battles are likely to happen and where defenses might already be strong. At this stage, the goal is orientation. I am learning how the Epoch Wars map is structured, how terraforms are distributed, and how factions are positioned relative to each other. By the end of this step, I know where my assets are located on the map, and I am ready to move into managing my own terraforms directly. From here, I move into the My Terraforms section. This area is focused only on the terraforms that belong to my wallet. Instead of looking at the full map, I now see a filtered view that shows only my assets. This makes it easier to manage them without distractions. Each terraform is listed clearly, and I can see its basic information at a glance. This includes its position for the current epoch, its status, and whether it is available to attack or already resting. Since each terraform can only attack once per epoch, this section helps me track which ones are ready to use. From this screen, I can select an individual terraform. When I do, its details open, allowing me to interact with it directly. This is one of the main places where gameplay starts, because I can initiate actions from here. Instead of using the map view, I am not attacking yet, but I am preparing my terraforms for future steps. This section also helps me understand how many terraforms I control and how they are spread across the map this epoch. Because terraforms are reshuffled every 5 days, checking this screen at the start of an epoch is important. It tells me which terraforms have good positioning and which ones might be isolated. I can also see which terraforms already have assets assigned such as citizens or starships and which ones are empty. This matters because assigned assets affect attack and defense later. Even though I am not modifying anything yet, I can clearly see where adjustments might be needed. By the end of this step, I am fully focused on my own terraforms. I know how many I have, where they are, and which ones are ready to be used. This sets me up for the next actions, where I start assigning supporting assets and preparing for combat. Now I move into attacking and defending using the terraform map. I start by opening the map view and scrolling in using shift and the mouse wheel. This lets me zoom closer to the area where my terraform is located. Once I find my terraform on the map, I select it and choose the option to mount an attack. After selecting Mount Attack, the interface shows me the neighboring terraforms that I am allowed to target. I can only attack terraforms that belong to other factions, so any terraform from my own faction cannot be selected. For each neighboring terraform, I can see its defense rating. This helps me understand the difficulty of the attack before I commit. I choose one neighboring terraform and select Attack to initiate the battle. Once I confirm the battle resolves automatically, the result is either a victory or a defeat. There is no manual combat input at this stage. The outcome is calculated based on the stats involved. Before confirming the attack, I am shown an estimated chance of success. This estimate matters because victory points are tied to risk level attacks with higher chances, such as certain high or fair award, 1 point moderate or low chance attacks award 3 points, very low or impossible chance attacks award 10 points. This system rewards taking calculated risks. Once the attack is completed, my terraform immediately enters a resting state. While resting, it cannot attack again during the same epoch. This reinforces the rule that each terraform can only be used once per epoch for attacking. On the defensive side, my terraforms defend themselves automatically. If another player attacks one of my terraforms, I do not need to be online or take action. Defense values are applied automatically. Terraforms can gain defense points from attributes like hazardous flora and bunkers. If my terraform is defeated, it does not lose RA or resources. By the end of this step, I have completed an attack, understand how victory points are calculated, and know how both attacking and defending work during an epoch. Now I move into the harvesting section. This is where I review and collect the rewards generated by my terraforms during the current epoch. As soon as I open the harvesting view, I see a summary of my combined power level. This value represents the total accumulated power from all the terraforms I own, and it directly influences the amount of RAD I can earn. Next, I check whether any bonuses apply. If I hold a Founder's card, my RAD yield increases based on its color grouping. The percentage bonus is applied automatically, and the interface clearly shows how much extra RAD is being added. There is also an option labeled Show Me the Math, which breaks down the full Living Lands calculation using my current figures. This helps me understand exactly where the final RAD number comes from. Below that, I see the total RAD earned for the epoch. This value already includes all applicable bonuses, such as power level and Founder's card effects. I do not need to claim it step by step. The system aggregates everything into a single result. I also review the resources produced this epoch. Each resource comes from specific terraform traits, and they are listed individually. By hovering over each resource, I can see how much was generated. This gives me visibility into which terraforms are producing which materials and how productive they are. Assigned citizens play an important role here. Any terraform with a citizen assigned produces 25% more tokens. This bonus is already reflected in the numbers shown. If I want to change assignments, I can click on the top corner of a terraform to add or remove a citizen. The change applies immediately, but it will affect future calculations, not the current completed harvest. By the end of this step, I have reviewed my RAD earnings, checked all resources produced, and confirmed how citizens and bonuses affected the results. This completes the core gameplay loop for the epoch, from setup to combat to harvesting rewards. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And before I go, don't forget, if you'd like to receive a very short but value-packed email from me every Tuesday, you can sign up for the Cardano Gaming newsletter. Every Monday, I'll be sharing the latest from the Cardano Gaming ecosystem to help you make better decisions. So if you don't want to miss out, just go to the link on the screen, leave me your email, and very soon I'll be in your inbox. That's all for today. I hope you have a great week.